The small village of Spring Green, Wisconsin holds a unique distinction of being home to two of America's most impressive architectural wonders. The more well-known of the two is Taliesin, home and studio of the legendary architect Frank Lloyd Wright. The lesser known is House on the Rock, built by a man named Alex Jordan. With little formal training, Jordan transformed a rock outcropping in the midst of the Wisconsin countryside into an architectural marvel that has become one of America's most unique roadside attractions. In this episode of Travelhound, we'll explore Alex Jordan's amazing House on the Rock, as well as his enormous collection of exotic and eclectic artifacts. In the early 1940s, a young man named Alex Jordan aspired to build his house atop a 60-foot-tall sandstone pinnacle. Without even drawing up any engineering plans or blueprints, Jordan set to work, building most of it on his own during the early years. Over the next 20 years, his home grew into a 13-room compound, incorporating the natural formations and vegetation of the rock tower into his design. Most of the rooms in the House on the Rock were designed for a specific purpose, such as dining, reading, or listening to music. However, Jordan did not include a bedroom in his design, instead relying on the couches and benches that he had scattered throughout the house for rest and repose. In addition to its ingenious design, the house is also furnished with a vast collection of aesthetically pleasing items, including Tiffany-style lamps, statuary, and reclaimed stained glass windows. But without a doubt, the most unique feature of the house has to be the infinity room. This room extends a whopping 218 feet out from the rest of the house, the last 140 feet being entirely unsupported. It's made up of 3,264 window panes and hangs 156 feet above the forest floor below. While construction on his house was more or less completed in 1961, Alex Jordan's unquenchable thirst to entertain, astound, and amaze drove him to continue building beyond the house. Over the next 30 years, he added 16 additional buildings to showcase his creative genius and eclectic collections. While it takes several hours to explore these buildings, here are just a few of the exhibits we enjoyed during our visit. One of the most awe-inspiring exhibits has to be the Carousel. In the Starz television series American Gods, the Carousel was prominently featured at the beginning of Season 2, serving as a gateway into an alternate dimension. Built exclusively for the House on the Rock and touted as the world's largest, the Carousel is 80 feet across, 35 feet tall, and weighs in at a hefty 36 tons. In addition to the more than 20,000 lights and 182 chandeliers, the Carousel also features 269 handcrafted carousel animals. This menagerie of animals includes centaurs, water buffalo, peacocks, unicorns, and dolphins, but amazingly, not one single horse. Not to worry, however, because there are more than 200 antique carousel horses hanging out on a nearby wall. While touring House on the Rock, you'll encounter a number of music machines, most of them created by Alex Jordan himself. The more extravagant machines, however, can be found in the Music of Yesterday exhibit. The music machines found here are larger than life, commanding entire rooms. From their animatronic movements to the detailed ornamentation of each machine, it's obvious that Jordan spared no expense in creating these theatrical masterpieces. And even though the source of the music for most of the machines comes from pre-recorded tracks instead of being played live, they're still a delight to both the ears and the eyes. The heritage of the Sea Building is filled with numerous seafaring exhibits, including detailed miniature models of nearly every type of sailing vessel from the past. There's even another music machine, this one playing a fitting nautical theme. However, the most impressive feature is the gigantic sculpture of an epic sea battle between a kraken and a whale that commands most of the building. It's so huge that it was impossible to even get a decent shot of the entire thing. But as you ascend the walkway of this two-story building, you are afforded up-close perspectives of these fearsome creatures from all angles and varying heights. From the moment you begin your stroll through the streets of yesterday, you're transported back in time to life in small-town America. Sauntering past the facades of each of the buildings, you can peek inside for a look at the carefully selected period details that Jordan collected to create a rich recreation of a bygone era. Even if you're not a gun buff, you'll be intrigued by the collection of imaginatively crafted weapons on display in the weapons gallery, including a derringer concealed inside of a lady's wooden leg. The Dollhouse Collection could very well be one of the largest collections of dollhouses in the world. The more than 250 individual houses on display cover architectural styles ranging from colonial to Victorian and just about everything in between. From the 1920s through the 1950s, Behringer Motions decorated jewelry store windows in an attempt to catch the eye of passerbys and tempt them to come inside. Many of the three-dimensional displays in this collection can be set into motion by simply pushing a button. Scattered throughout the complex are a variety of quirky, coin-operated arcade machines that predate the era of video games. From simple animatronics to machines that predict your prowess as a lover.
Oh wow! Yeah, keep those cameras rolling, baby. Oh my! I was right. You are a sex pot.
Or measure your sense of humor. You'll want to bring a pocket full of quarters to try them out for yourself.
I'm hilarious!
You are hilarious.
Yes.
I've always known that about you.
While most of the House of the Rock is experienced indoors, the outdoor areas are equally satisfying. Throughout both the house and grounds, harmony with nature was Jordan's guiding principle from the beginning. The Asian Garden is one such example, as it encompasses both a hillside and pond, and melding details from several Asian traditions. In the Japanese garden, the design encourages guests to slow down and take their time. It's clear to see that the same meticulous attention to detail that Alex Jordan used in the design of his house carried over into his outdoor spaces as well. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous, but even the bathrooms are worth a visit at the House on the Rock, even if you don't need to do a number 1 or number 2. From the manly men's room decked out with an array of taxidermied wildlife, to the peaceful women's bathroom decorated with Japanese geisha costumes, you'll be able to answer your call of nature in style. So there you have it, a glimpse of just a few of the amazing things to see during a visit to the House on the Rock. Believe it or not, there's even more awe-inspiring sights and experiences that weren't even featured in this video, which just means that you're going to have to plan a road trip and go see it for yourself. When visiting, be sure to allow yourself at least 3 hours. Anything less than that, and you'll be doing yourself a huge disservice. The House on the Rock also operates a nearby resort that offers guests spacious 2-room suites, indoor pools, a spa, and a 27-hole golf course on the premises. It's a great place to relax after your visit. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it, and become a subscriber by clicking on the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner so that you never miss out on Travelhound's upcoming adventures.